Now, these are devastating and truly horrific allegations.
A bombshell audio supposedly tied to Meghan Markle hit at dawn and exploded across social media with one frosty caption: "Just listen, then you'll get it." In the murky recording, Jessica Mulroney, her ride-or-die bestie of 15 years, goes nuclear, claiming she's personally witnessed the nasty, disgusting secret Meghan's been burying inside that Montecito mansion. The internet lost its mind in about 0.2 seconds, all asking the same thing. What exactly did Jessica lay eyes on? Instead of shrugging it off, Meghan allegedly flipped into full damage control. Insiders claim she ordered her team to silently take care of Jessica, but the online detectives weren't having it. They started connecting dots, dragging up suspiciously perfect timelines, and name-dropping Big Shot Epstein, circle players Meghan had conveniently rubbed shoulders with for years. Then the real nuke dropped. Some alleged AI scan of the Montecito mansion leaked, straight up showing a secret wall compartment stuffed with papers that any sane person would kill to keep hidden. So if this is all just some giant mix-up, why is Meghan sweating bullets right now? And if that concealed stash really exists, what exactly is Meghan Markle so desperate to keep locked away? Stay glued, because everything you think you know is just the appetizer. Picture a perfect sun-drenched LA morning. Palm trees swaying, influencers doing downward dog on balconies, the whole city pretending it's just another chill Tuesday. Then, at exactly 8:30 a.m., the entire internet detonates like someone casually tossed a nuke into the group chat. A 40-second audio file drops out of nowhere. No context, no source, just stark white text on a black screen. Listen, and you'll know. The voice is unmistakable. Jessica Mulroney, the woman Meghan used to parade around as her non-biological twin, shaking with raw emotion yet steady as steel, every syllable slicing the air like a blade. "I found proof. Meghan was involved with Jeffrey Epstein, not those tired old tabloid scraps. This is real, undeniable proof. I saw it myself, inside her own house." 47 seconds. That's all it takes for the digital world to hit full meltdown. X, TikTok, Reddit, encrypted Telegram channels. The clip rips through every corner of the internet faster than a Santa Ana wind through dry brush. Zero Sussex squad members rushing in with deepfake copium. Zero "this is AI garbage" excuses. Zero "leave Meghan alone" sob stories. Just eerie radioactive silence from the Montecito compound, while millions of people, in perfect synchronized horror, plug in their earbuds, press play, and forward it without saying a word. Cut to the gleaming museum-grade Carrara marble kitchen inside the mansion. Meghan's casually leaning against the island, practicing that trademark soft-focus smile for the next Archewell "let's change the world" reel, mentally counting how many times she'll drop the word kindness in the caption. Harry slips in from the garden door looking like he just saw his own obituary. Face drained of color, eyes red and glassy, lips pressed into a thin line. He doesn't speak, just walks up and hands her his phone, one trembling finger hovering over play. Meghan's still half smirking, taps it like it's just another boring notification. The instant Jessica's voice cuts through the speaker, the $400 ceramic mug in Meghan's hand freezes halfway to her lips. When real proof inside her own house lands, every drop of blood vanishes from her face, sun-kissed glow to literal walking corpse in half a second. Lips quivering, eyes blown wide like pure terror, just wrapped an icy hand around her throat. "No, no, impossible," she whispers, voice splintering like cheap glass. Harry steps in for the supportive hug. She violently shoves him off, claws digging into her own palms, face twisting into something feral, panic and fury exploding as she screams loud enough to rattle the Sub-Zeros. "Who leaked this, Jessica? She's trying to end me. What kind of twisted game is this?" The meltdown lasts maybe 5 seconds. Then, absolute silence. She collapses onto a bar stool like her legs just gave out, hands clutching her skull, gasping like the air's been sucked from the room. Meanwhile, across the planet, millions of strangers type the exact same 2 questions at the exact same millisecond, echoing like war drums in the dark. If this is all vicious lies, why is she falling apart like the world just ended in her kitchen? And the one that actually keeps people up at night? What unspeakable horror did Jessica stumble across behind that Montecito wall that made her willing to burn 15 years of friendship, her reputation, her entire life to the ground, just to deliver that single, ice-cold, trembling line? This is something she would literally kill to keep buried, and I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Rewind exactly 1 year. back when the Sussex brand still looked untouchable from the outside. A hush-hush invite-only soiree at the Montecito compound. Fairy lights twinkling through the olive grove, bottles that cost more than rent popping left and right, private chef serving plates that belong in the Louvre. Strictly A++ list only. Jessica Mulroney struts in fashionably late, flashing the megawatt smile that once paid her bills. But there's a tiny crack in the armor the moment she steps inside. Meghan greets her with one of those trademark suffocating bestie hugs, except her eyes keep darting down the West Wing hallway like a paranoid tick. Seriously, don't even think about the office. It's a war zone. She laughs, but the note is way too high, the kind of forced casual that screams alarm bells. Jessica lets it slide, but the energy is wrong all night. Meghan's laugh is brittle glass, her fingers twitchy, constantly steering people away from that corridor like she's herding cats from a cliff edge. Harry's floating around in happy dad mode, rambling about Invictus, while Meghan keeps checking her watch like she's waiting for the bomb squad. By 1 a.m., the Duchess is shockingly messy, rare for the woman who usually counts her own blinks. She slurs through glossy lips. Jess, darling, do me a solid and grab my gift bag from the office. Swear I left it on the desk. Jessica hesitates, every instinct screaming trap. But 15 years of friendship wins. She slips down the dim hallway, pushes the door. No gift bag, just pristine white walls and a faint, almost imaginary click from what looks like solid paneling. Heart suddenly pounding, she steps closer, trails her fingers along the edge, feels the hairline seam. One gentle push and the wall glides open like it's auditioning for a spy thriller. A fat manila folder slides out and hits the floor with a thud that echoes like a judge's gavel. Jessica's stomach plunges straight through the foundation. Hands shaking, she flips it open. First page. Glossy shot of Meghan beaming next to Prince Andrew at some private charity event. Timestamp screaming years before Harry was even a possibility. Second page. Printed yacht manifest listing M. Markle, hostess for Epstein's floating palace. Right beside a billionaire who just happens to be Oprah's inner circle BFF, complete with Meghan's own looping handwriting in the margin. Cruise party Malibu, first time meeting O. O, as in the same Oprah who later anointed her the voice of morality. Third, a tiny black USB in Sharpie titled Soho House Memories, stuffed with grainy but unmistakable photos of a much younger Meghan, at those legendary after-hours parties where the champagne flowed like rivers and the NDAs were signed in blood. Jessica stands there paralyzed, pulse roaring like a jet engine, every fairy tale shattering into a million pieces. She stuffs everything back, seals the wall, pastes on a shaky smile long enough to mumble "sick kid at home," and bolts into the night, drives home white-knuckled, eyes stinging, brain on fire. How far down does this go? Why is she still hiding it? What the hell am I supposed to do now? She picks silence, prays it's some colossal misunderstanding, tries to bury the memory 6 feet under. But the images fester like an open wound for the next 12 months. In the weeks that follow, she turns into a ghost in incognito tabs. Epstein logs, victim statements, the whole disgusting web. Piece by horrific piece, she watches how many bold-faced names dance through that swamp on their way to the top. Meghan's meteoric rise from cable actress to royal saint suddenly has a very different runway. She never once asks Harry if he knows. Some questions are live grenades with the pin already halfway out. And then, exactly 1 year later, that 40-second audio tears the Band-Aid off in front of the entire world, lighting the match on a scandal that's about to torch the whole meticulously curated kingdom straight to the ground. Zoom in on this moment, because even the most jaded Hollywood sharks would feel the temperature plummet and smell fresh blood the second they saw it. Deep beneath the Montecito estate, in a concrete bunker with no windows and surgical LED lights pouring straight down like interrogation lamps, Meghan sits at the head of a 12-foot obsidian table looking like a queen about to order an execution. Every vein under the flawless contour is glowing Arctic blue. Knuckles bleached bone white, lips sliced into a line so thin it could cut glass. Flanking her, the legendary Black Ops reputation strike team that once weaponized Oprah into turning her into Britain's most persecuted princess. 5 men in funeral suits sharp enough to shave with, 3 women with razor-tight buns and steel-rimmed glasses, thumbs blurring across iPads so fast the screens look like they're having seizures. These are the same mercenaries who can rewrite history before brunch. Today they're back on payroll, and the mission is simple. Character assassination. No body bag required. The audio has been public for exactly 36 minutes. Meghan doesn't gasp, doesn't tear up, doesn't do the trembling victim routine the tabloids cream themselves over. She simply lowers her voice to a whisper that somehow sucks every degree of warmth out of the room and says, "Wipe it out. Whatever it costs, whatever it takes." No one asks for clarification. The machine whirs to life like it was never powered down. Stone-faced lead counsel is already speed-dialing legal departments at every platform, firing off nine-figure defamation threats like party invites. At the exact same second, the content artillery unleashes a synchronized barrage of pre-recorded holiness. Meghan cradling smiling African kids, Meghan preaching female empowerment, Meghan glowing in soft focus with Harry among the roses. All dropped simultaneously across Instagram, People Vogue, Harper's with captions dripping saccharine, choosing grace even when they try to break me. Cute, but that's just the smoke screen. Now comes the kill shot. Meghan leans forward, eyes lit with that 1,000-yard predator stare you only earn after clawing your way through the Hollywood meat grinder, and pronounces the name like she's tasting rot. Jessica. She lets it hang in the air like a guillotine. She's the ideal offering. Dust off the 2020 race scandal, inflated until it blocks the sun. By sunrise tomorrow, I want Jessica Mulroney and vile racist to be inseparable in the public mind. The blonde ex-Vanity Fair assassin cracks the faintest smirk, already typing. Hit piece outlined. Racist, jealous, delusional, obsessed with your success. Full villain arc. Anonymous source drop to page 6 in under an hour. The dark PR warlock in the corner murmurs, 3 former mutuals are already wired 50 grand apiece. They'll hit every podcast crying about how Jessica lived in your shadow and stole your ideas for years. One's rehearsing the ugly sob as we speak. Meghan's mouth curves into a smile so icy it could preserve corpses. Oprah? She asks softly. Confirmed, 9 p.m. tonight. The manager breathes. Single tear, direct to camera. I lost the sister I loved most over a painful misunderstanding. Yet I still choose forgiveness. 0 names, total annihilation. For 3 glorious seconds, the room bathes in reverent silence, everyone savoring the sheer surgical elegance of the plan. Then Meghan rises, white silk dress floating like a funeral veil, and delivers the final verdict with the calm of a death row priest. When I'm finished, Jessica Mulroney will be radioactive. No deals, no friends, no oxygen on any platform. History will only record her as the deranged, jealous racist who tried to destroy the first woman of color ever welcomed into the royal family. She turns, heels clicking like gunshots echoing down the corridor, leaving the black-clad execution squad to their keyboards. This is the real Meghan Markle the world has never been allowed to see. Not the trembling victim, not the benevolent warrior queen, just a battle-hardened Hollywood survivor who learned long ago that best friends are the cheapest pawns when the endgame gets ugly. And now the only question burning up every group chat on Earth. When Jessica finally realizes there's no way out alive, will she hit send on the evidence Meghan would literally trade her soul to keep buried? Because whatever's locked behind that Montecito wall is clawing its way into the daylight, and not a single crisis team lawsuit or perfectly timed tear on Earth can shove it back in. After weeks of pure hell, contracts torched, DMs flooded with death threats from the Sussex stands, brands ghosting her like she's radioactive, Jessica Mulroney finally snaps. She's got 0 left to lose. She jumps in her car, floors it to Montecito, heart slamming against her ribs like it's trying to escape. The massive gates creak open like they're reluctant, and she storms inside to confront the woman who once swore they were soul sisters. The air in that mansion is so thick you could slice it with a butter knife. Think season finale Netflix betrayal scene on steroids. They don't even pretend to be civil. It explodes instantly, screaming, sobbing, 15 years of friendship detonating in real time. Jessica is ugly crying, mascara rivers, voice cracking. I never leaked that audio on purpose. I was trying to protect you, Meghan. I didn't want your kids dragged through the mud. Didn't want Harry destroyed because of your past. Meghan doesn't shed a single tear. She just stands there like carved marble, eyes blazing, voice flat and lethal. My family? You think you get to lecture me about my family? Harry knows everything, every single thing, and he still chose me. Nobody else in that royal cesspool stood by him. They all abandoned him. Boom. The second those words leave her mouth, the room goes dead silent except for Jessica's ragged breathing. Meghan just accidentally confessed, on camera in her own head, that Harry is 100% aware of the photos, the yacht manifests, the USB, the whole rotting skeleton collection behind the wall. She didn't just hide it from the world. She built an entire fairy tale fortress to shield it, and Harry signed up anyway. Jessica freezes, staring at her like she's looking at an alien wearing Meghan's face. You! You just admitted it out loud, she whispers, voice splintering. Meghan's eyes flicker. She realizes she just handed Jessica the nuclear codes, but the fallout's already started. In Hollywood, words are bullets, and once they're fired, you can't stuff them back in the barrel. Jessica walks out of that mansion shattered, but something steel-hard has replaced the heartbreak. Reputation? Gone. Friends? Bought or terrified into silence. Old life? Ashes. So she does the most 2025 thing possible, hires a legit, above-board AI structural scanning startup, the kind rich people use before buying a mansion to check for termites or bad wiring. Totally legal in California. No trespassing, no breaking in, just fancy handheld devices that ping low-power ultrasound waves from the public sidewalk and let AI rebuild the interior layout like an X-ray. A couple of 20-something engineers in hoodies show up outside the Montecito compound with gadgets that look like Star Trek props, clueless about the drama, just happy for the paycheck. They sweep the exterior walls, collect terabytes of data, and head home to let the algorithms cook. They have zero idea the scans they're about to spit out are going to rip the last veil off the biggest lie in Montecito and drag Meghan straight into the abyss she spent years pretending didn't exist. What started as Meghan's picture-perfect Hollywood-grade takedown playbook, the kind of airtight crisis script she used to act out on cable, has now flipped into the most delicious, self-inflicted catastrophe. Since the Titanic decided icebergs were no big deal, the harder her army scrubs, deletes, and threatens, the faster the content multiplies. Posts vanish on one corner of the internet and instantly respawn in 10 new places, like toxic hydrangeas after a chemical spill. Every cease and desist gets laughed at, screenshotted, and turned into a viral meme. Sue me harder, Your Highness, it only proves you're shaking. The Streisand effect isn't just in the building, it's doing coke in the VIP room and live streaming the whole party. Meghan's frantic attempts to smother the story are the exact accelerant turning a campfire rumor into a continent-wide inferno. And she's the one holding the gasoline can with her own manicured fingers. The internet has become a single, rabid organism with a billion heads, all sniffing blood and howling in unison. Millions of amateur Sherlocks are treating this like the final boss of true crime season. The Epstein whispers aren't quietly fading, they're detonating. Some anonymous Redditor, picture a wine-drunk suburban mom in a true crime and wine hoodie, drops a 5,000-word dissertation titled Meghan Markle's Real Resume, Yacht Edition to Crown Edition. She resurrects long-scrub posts from the TIG, where Meghan raved about unforgettable weekends on the water, and private escapes money can't buy between 2010 and 2012, exactly when Epstein's floating nightmare factory was operating at full throttle. Wayback Machine still has the receipts, and the dates line up with Jessica's hidden hostess list like they were photocopied from the same devil's printer. A mega TikToker with 8-figure followers stitches together a timeline so surgically precise it should win an Emmy. Meghan checking into the St. James, London, on the exact day Epstein's yacht was moored 40 miles away, the exact day the secret manifest stamped E-Yacht Night Event. 3 separate calendars locked together with 0 daylight between them. The video racks up 20 million views before dinner, and the top comment, pinned with 300,000 likes, just says, "This isn't coincidence, this is choreography." X digs up grainy Soho House relics from 2011. Meghan in the background, glowing like she owns the room, surrounded by the same Epstein orbit vampires. Entire megathreads dissect every pixel. If Jessica is lying, why is Meghan activating an entire war room, lawyering up like a mob boss and paying ex-friends to sob on cue? And why does every single thing Jessica described match the public record 100%? A scandal YouTuber drops a 20-minute forensic masterpiece titled that Prince Andrew red dress photo is real and here's the proof, runs the image through every filter known to man, and proves Meghan was swimming in those circles years before Harry was even a swipe right. Legacy media still clutches pearls and screams baseless conspiracy, but the public has collectively rolled their eyes so hard they saw their own brainstems. The internet court has delivered its verdict, and it's unanimous. Everything Jessica saw lines up perfectly with what's already out there. Meghan's reaction is so nuclear it's radioactive. The smear campaign is so transparent it's practically see-through. And the harder she tries to bury something, the more obvious the body outline becomes. In 72 hours flat, Jessica morphs from bitter, racist liar to accidental truth teller turned legend, the patron saint of women who stumbled into the wrong hidden compartment. Meghan? Newly crowned empress of the cover-up, frantically whitewashing history while the entire world watches the paint drip off in real time. With every passing minute, that concealed Montecito wall has become the ultimate monument to buried skeletons. Lies poured in concrete and painted over with $14 million of California dreaming. And now, with the full AI structural scan sitting in Jessica's inbox, every void, every secret cavity rendered in merciless, courtroom-ready detail, that wall is finally about to open its mouth and scream the truth from the rooftops. When it does, every deleted blog post, every grainy party photo, every time-stamped yacht manifest is going to snap together like the final pieces of a very expensive, very ugly puzzle. And Meghan's entire empire of carefully curated illusions is about to freefall straight into the black hole of cold, brutal, unerasable fact. Just a few days later, the AI report lands in Jessica's inbox, and the entire startup crew that ran the scan looks like they've just watched a cursed tape they can't unsee. These are the same bright-eyed engineers, ponytails, thick glasses, laptops balanced on knees, who usually spend their weekends poking around multi-million-dollar homes for hidden water damage or termite trails. Now they're frozen in front of a massive monitor, mouths actually hanging open, staring in pure shock like they've uncovered the plot twist of a lifetime. The document is ruthless and crystal clear, a sleek 30 by 40 centimeter hidden compartment carved into the office wall, a feature that never once appeared on the pristine blueprints Harry and Meghan filed with Santa Barbara County. This is not some sloppy builder's mistake, not a natural gap, not an oops from construction. This is a deliberate secret addition built long after the final inspection. The report states it outright. Compartment installed after construction completion, complete with millimeter-perfect measurements, advanced acoustic dampening, and shielding design to fool both the naked eye and standard detection tools. The team even slips in a subtle academic note comparing it to the concealed drawers European nobles once used for gold and confidential letters. Except this one sits inside a gleaming Montecito palace and reeks of something far more contemporary and sinister. Jessica sits alone, hands shaking as she scrolls, pulse racing like a war drum in her ears. She pinches and zooms on the glowing 3D model again and again, the highlighted cavity staring back like a silent accusation. Every horrifying second from that party floods back. The faint click when her fingers brush the panel, the folder sliding out, the photographs, the yacht paperwork, the USB labeled Soho House Memories. Now, undeniable scientific proof has confirmed every detail she ever described was real. And then comes the second hammer blow, the one that turns the entire internet into a spectacular midnight fireworks display. A grainy infrared security clip suddenly surfaces, leaked by a former Montecito technician, someone quietly removed from the payroll months ago under unclear circumstances and who clearly kept a full backup. The timestamp burns in the corner. Meghan in lightweight pajamas, hair tousled, dragging a heavy cardboard box stuffed with documents into the office in the dead of night. She keeps glancing nervously over her shoulder, tense and watchful, before vanishing behind the exact wall the scan just exposed. The date and time match perfectly, right down to the second, with the evening before Jessica's accidental discovery at that ill-fated party. The footage spreads like lightning. TikTok, X, Reddit, tens of millions of views in mere hours. Comments pour in by the thousands. Caught at 3 a.m. Hiding evidence? This is actual proof. Everything Jessica ever said now lines up perfectly with the technical data. No gaps, no contradictions. The exact location of the hidden compartment. The fact it was built after move-in. And Meghan herself recorded secretly placing material inside it the night before it was found. There is simply no way to dismiss it any longer. This is no longer petty gossip from a broken friendship. This is rock-solid, technology-backed evidence. The internet explodes like never before. Detailed analysis threads sprout everywhere. The secret wall is real. How deep does this go? Drama channels rush in with cinematic emergency videos, tense music swelling, cutting between the 3D render and the leaked clip, narrators breathless. This is the peak of the biggest celebrity scandal of the year. Jessica didn't make anything up. She accidentally uncovered the truth, and Meghan is about to face the full consequences of everything she tried to keep locked away. The videos rack up tens of millions of views overnight. On Wall of Secrets dominates trends worldwide. comment sections turn into battlegrounds. Meghan, once the poised and untouchable Duchess, is now trapped at the very center of a storm she can no longer control. Her crisis team scrambles in every direction, issuing statements, threatening legal action, desperately trying to contain the blaze. But every effort only makes the fire burn hotter. The truth is finally out in the open, backed by scans, footage, and timestamps no one can erase. The wall has spoken, and nothing on earth can force it to stay silent ever again. The moment the AI scan and that 2:50 a.m. infrared clip go viral, the internet doesn't just blow up. It turns into a Category 12 superstorm that tears through Montecito like divine judgment, shredding every last sequin of the fairy tale Meghan spent years stitching together with PR thread and Instagram filters. Jessica wakes up to a complete reversal of fortune that feels like cosmic payback on steroids. Overnight, she morphs from bitter, racist ex-friend into the internet's accidental patron saint of truth. Mutuals who ghosted her and called her a liar are now sliding into her DMs with tear-soaked apologies. Fashion houses that canceled her contracts are suddenly begging for meetings. Podcast hosts and morning shows are fighting over who gets to call her brave first. The universe finally hands her the receipts for every month of torment she endured, while Meghan's machine tried to erase her. Meanwhile, Meghan is straight up drowning. The Epstein timeline threads are endless. The old yacht photos keep resurfacing like horror movie jump scares. And the only question trending worldwide is the one nobody in her camp can answer. If it was all innocent, why the secret wall? Why the midnight burial mission? Why destroy your best friend of 15 years to keep it quiet? Harry tries the knight in shining armor move, drops a 2,000-word Instagram essay full of love conquers all and forgiveness is strength. But the comments just savage him. Sweetie, this isn't a Hallmark card. This is a hidden compartment expose. He gets branded either the most clueless husband alive or the guy who knew and chose silence anyway. Either way, the crown slipped hard. The public paints Meghan in the harshest light possible, a ruthless operator who weaponized every media contact, every crisis firm, every paid source to crush a woman who once called her sister, all to protect a past soaked in elite after-parties and questionable company. TikTok and YouTube explode with brutal takedowns. She played the victim card so well we forgot she was the villain the whole time. Netflix deals become running jokes. Archewell turns into a punchline. The squad scatters, and even the legacy outlets that used to parrot her press releases finally flip the script and start asking real questions instead of printing fairy tales. Cut to the mansion in the golden hour that used to be perfect for photo shoots. Meghan stands alone at the massive window overlooking the olive grove and the infinity pool that costs more than most zip codes. But the reflection staring back looks like it's aged a decade in a week. The house is a mausoleum, staff dismissed for privacy, phones vibrating themselves dead on marble countertops. No one brave enough to answer. She's swallowed by an oversized silk robe, eyes raw from sleepless nights, cheekbones sharper from stress she can't Botox away. Down the hall, contractors in dusty coveralls are jackhammering the infamous wall into oblivion on emergency lawyer orders, white dust swirling like funeral ash, leaving a raw, ugly scar where her secrets used to sleep. The office that once housed her global empire of compassion is now just a cold, empty cavity. Poetic, isn't it? She can hear Harry forcing laughter with Archie and Lilibet in the playroom, innocent giggles echoing off $14 million walls like tiny shards of glass in her chest. That sound used to be her shield. Now it's a reminder that the entire planet just saw behind the curtain. Meghan lifts a shaking hand to the window, tears carving tracks through whatever's left of yesterday's contour. Watching the perfect life she manufactured collapse in real time. The greatest performance of her career just ended with the curtain crashing down on an empty stage. No encore, no director's cut, no crisis team on Earth that can splice this footage back together. So go ahead. After every pixel of evidence just detonated in merciless high definition, look me in the eye and try to call her the victim one more time. Because the woman who once had the whole world sobbing on Oprah's couch just got unmasked as the cold-blooded director of the most vicious plot twist Hollywood has ever served. And if even St. Meghan of Montecito was running the con this whole time, then tell me, who in this town can you ever trust again?